Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's so good to see you again. If you're new, welcome. Hi, I'm Jessica. This is my little sister Meredith, and we are in Colorado this week because my sister had a baby 9 weeks premature. So little baby Jack is in the NICU. He was born a week ago today. And before I head back to California today, we wanted to film an update for those of you who have been tracking with the story on social media. And then also for any of you who might experience premature labor yourself. We've both had kind of the normal full term, and then now this premature one is entirely different, and it's a lot emotionally. So we want to be able to encourage you, update you, and you're our friends, so welcome. If you've been around a while, you've probably heard me say that I am not an amazing homemaker. Still true, especially when it comes to meals. 3 kids, 2 of them are under 2. Life is just crazy. I don't have a lot of headspace for thinking of recipes, eating creatively, planning the week. And if you're anything like me, you will love HelloFresh. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. So you get fresh seasonal recipes each week. They're gonna deliver these ingredients pre-measured to your door. You make a meal in like roughly 30 minutes. You can specify what low carb, pescatarian, whatever your dietary needs are. You can even tell them if you're a family and need larger portions. In the year 2020, they donated 4 million meals, and they are continuing to donate meals during the COVID crisis. And they make me look like I know how to cook when I don't. Go to HelloFresh.com, use code JessHover10 to get 10 free meals, including free shipping. This meal that I'm currently eating while I hang out with you is cheesy smothered mushroom chicken. Doesn't that sound fancy? It even tastes fancy. And it was very simple. Not only did they tell me what to do, but they have photos of each section, which for me is good because I'm pretty visual and I need to see it. So HelloFresh.com, promo code JessHover10 to get 10 free meals, including free shipping. You're gonna look like you know how to cook, and it's gonna taste so delicious. If you are a parent looking for more support, don't forget to join us on Facebook. We have a private group called Jess Hover and Friends. Really great people in there. Answer the questions. We'll let you in. They're just awesome. Also, if you want to follow more of my family, at Jess_Hover on Instagram. And thank you to all of you who have been supporting our business, the Very Good Mothers Club. Anytime we hear the little ding thing that says somebody bought something, we cheer a physical like, yay! So thanks. Every little order is noticed. So I go back to Los Angeles today. We're driving back, and we're hoping to return in a month-ish when Jack is graduating from the NICU. 2 months-ish. How did this go? Because when I saw you a month ago, everything was very healthy.
Yeah.
And you're a healthy person.
Yeah, everything was good. This pregnancy was definitely harder overall. I was really sick in the beginning, even in the second trimester, feeling sick and just exhausted. I remember when I was pregnant with Loie, the second trimester came and I had energy. That might have been because I didn't have a kid at that time and I could sleep and all of that. But this pregnancy was harder right away, but still healthy, fine. About now 3 weeks ago, I started having contractions. I thought that they were just Braxton Hicks, and they might have been at that point. It was mainly like in the evening when I would sit down. I was like, oh, my stomach keeps feeling really tight. It was fine. I didn't know any better, so I was like, okay, this is fine. I was only at that point 29 weeks. Fast forward about a week. It was a Friday. I actually went to OB emergency department because I was feeling really itchy all over, and that is a sign of it could be a sign of a couple different things in pregnancy that's not okay, so I wanted to go get checked and make sure.
So know that,
yeah,
right? It's like if you have itchiness in your palms or the bottom of your feet,
yeah,
pay attention
and go in. Everything was fine, but when the doctor came in to like evaluate me, she said, "Are your contractions hurting you?" I was like, "No, like I feel them, but," and she was like, they're really consistent. I just assumed it's Braxton Hicks, and so wanted to check my cervix to see if I was dilated. So they did, and I was 1 centimeter dilated. They said, okay, that's okay. It's not, we don't prefer that, especially this early, but you can go weeks with being 1 centimeter dilated. So we just have to watch it and you need to take it easy. So then they tried to give me 2 medications to stop my contractions. It didn't work. One of them is called Tributaline and the other one is called Procardia. It just didn't work.
Is it a pill or a shot?
One of them is a shot, Tributaline, and it makes your heart rate go crazy.
That's what I had.
Yeah, but it was supposed to stop the contractions. I don't know how that works when you feel like like you're gonna jump out of your skin. The second one was
didn't work for me either.
Oh, yeah. The second one is a pill. They sent me home that night, probably about midnight or 1. They said, if your contractions get worse, come back. So the next day, I was having contractions again for most of the day. I was trying to take it pretty easy, drinking lots of water. They recommend 3 liters of water a day to help stop contractions, to make sure you're not dehydrated, because dehydration can lead to contractions. They said no lifting things, very important, and basically just like lay down or sit for the day. So I did. I took it really easy. I think it was like 6 o'clock. I called you. The contraction, like they're still going, and I timed them for over an hour, and I think I had like 18 in 1 hour. I'm not good at math, but like 2 to 3 minutes or 2 to 4 minutes apart. So I went back in, and again they tried the same medication. We're just trying to stop it, and they kept me longer, and they did it twice to see if, again, it didn't work. The hospital I went to was not the hospital that I was gonna deliver at. Okay, we're gonna send you home. If this happens again, you need to go to the hospital where your doctors are gonna be at, because that's where, like, if I get admitted, you'll need to be. So Sunday, got up, contractions were again pretty bad. So we went in. I actually called my doctor, and they were like, yeah, you absolutely need to come in. They again tried the medication. It didn't work. I was still dilated to a 1, but my contractions were 2 to 3 minutes apart. So they admitted me. They put me in a room in the labor and delivery unit, and they started magnesium, which is also what Jessica had. Magnesium is supposed to stop contractions.
And it relaxes your muscles, and it's also supposed to be good for the baby's brain.
Yeah, and so they also gave me steroid shots, thank you, which prepare the baby's lungs for if he were to come early.
Did they give you the shots in your bum?
Yep.
Okay, did you ice them first?
Yes, I told them what you said.
Good.
Yes.
So tip, if you end up in this situation, if they're going to give you a shot in your tush from the steroids, I had a nurse who iced me before giving me the shot, and it made it so much nicer.
And because she told me that, I asked my nurse, I said, can I please have an ice pack first? And she was like, absolutely. Advocate for yourself. If you feel like you need things, ice pack, do it.
With magnesium, tell them about magnesium.
Okay, so magnesium makes you feel like you're dying. It's awful. It
can make you feel like you have the flu almost immediately, and nobody prepared me for that. Thankfully, I went through this 3 months before she did.
Yeah.
So as she was about to do everything, I told her, like, drink water first.
Yep.
Get ice
chips because you
cold washcloths.
You get a fever. Your whole body literally heats up. You feel terrible. So something about my experience with magnesium is I felt all of that, but then I was throwing up nonstop. I couldn't stop throwing up. But anyway, the magnesium worked. Just like after 24 hours on it, they usually keep you on it for 48 hours, and they usually only do it once. It slowed down the contractions. So I was in there Sunday to Wednesday. Thursday, I was supposed to take my NCLEX. It's the nursing state boards.
Okay, my sister just graduated nursing school. So amazing. She was scheduled to take her NCLEX, her test to become a registered nurse. It was scheduled for that Thursday, but she was hospitalized. But the doctor let her leave to go take her test. Sorry, because this is amazing. They let her leave to go take her test because the doctor wondered if maybe part of why she was having contractions was a bit of anxiety about this test, because she'd been studying for it forever. I feel like it's been so long. So she got to leave the hospital, go take the test. On the way to taking the test, she stops at Starbucks to study, and a person has a heart attack, and they yell, "Is there a medical professional here?" And she helps save a guy's life.
It was a woman.
And a woman, I mean. Sorry. A woman's life. And then, all while having contractions, pops home, changes, takes her test, then has to go back to the hospital. While she's at the hospital, gets the notice that she passed. She's an RN.
I'm an RN.
And then,
in the test, I was having contractions a lot. They were so painful, and I called Jessica and I said, I'm not sure, maybe it's just gas pains, because what if it was, and I didn't want to go back to the hospital. I was like, no, I don't want to go, because if it's nothing, like, I don't want to have to be admitted just to lay there. And Jessica said, well, I mean, even if it is gas pains, you should go and get checked out. That's the safest. And she said, and when have you really had gas pains that are this painful, 2 to 3 minutes apart? And I was like, true. I've never experienced pains like that. David and I, we got ready and we headed to the hospital. It's a really good thing we went. I recommend if you ever have contractions and you're just unsure, just go. because what was happening was every time I had a contraction, his heart rate was dropping super low. And that was a big indicator that this wasn't gonna be another couple days stay and go home. We really hoped for that, but right away, and I had started bleeding. They put me on the monitor and then they checked me again and I had dilated more. They tried to give me more medication, nothing worked. So the next day, they put me on another round of magnesium. It was awful. This time they for sure didn't let me eat or drink because they were afraid I might need an emergency C-section because his heart rate was dropping. Again, throwing up, feeling sick, everything, but I was having contractions the whole time on magnesium. It didn't stop this time. Friday, they weren't checking me often because they didn't want to also induce more change in my cervix. But Friday morning about 4 a.m., a new nurse came in and I was in a lot of pain. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I need something. But they wouldn't give me medication because also they didn't know if I was in labor, so they didn't want to give me like an epidural or medication because it could stop. The nurse came in, I said, I'm in a lot of pain, I need something. And she said, I think you're in active labor. And I was like, okay. And she said, I'm gonna check you, which the rule was no one checked me. And I'm so thankful she did. She just came in, she checked me, and I was fully dilated and my water was bulging, thank you. So she called the charge nurse and all the NICU team and everyone and was like, she's gonna deliver. Within 5 minutes, I felt like I had to push, which was really frightening. I just kept saying, no, like we're not supposed to, like we're not doing this. Like you can't come. And
you guys called me.
Yep.
I got to be there on FaceTime.
FaceTime Jess. David was right there next to me.
The NICU team came. They prepared the little space for the baby to come out. The doctor was great. Everything was very calm.
Yeah.
And your water broke?
My water broke on the first push. That was the most amazing feeling ever. That was like the first relief of pain in between a contraction. Then I pushed 2 more times and he came out, little baby.
He's so tiny. He's 16 inches long, 3.5 pounds.
Yeah, when he was born. So, of course, because he was only 31 weeks, I couldn't hold him. They set him a little bit on my belly, not really. It was on a bunch of blankets so that they could like check him and so David could cut the cord, but they took him immediately.
He needed oxygen.
Yeah, he was in respiratory distress, so they had to intubate him, which is where they put a tube down his throat into his lungs to be able to give him oxygen. And then they took him to the NICU right away.
The Children's Hospital, which is right next to where she delivered.
And then I was transferred to the mom-baby unit where moms recover usually with their baby, which like what I did with Loie, you have him right there. And I had to start pumping.
How was it visiting him?
So he was born at 5 in the morning, so I was able to see him that night at like 10 o'clock. And they actually they put him on my chest for me for a minute, but it was really overwhelming. You want to hold him and you want to be able to just be with him, and I wanted to hear him cry.
Yeah, he didn't cry because he's so little.
Yeah, and so I was so thankful for everyone there taking care of him, but he was fully hooked up to everything. He had a feeding tube, he had the breathing mask on, he had an IV in his belly button to give him supplemental nutrition. He had heart rate monitors on him, on his chest and on his foot, and a temperature probe, and he was in an incubator. Well, I think they call them isolettes now. But basically
I call it an aquarium.
Yeah.
Baby aquarium.
He was in an aquarium where it regulates his temperature.
Yeah.
So we were with him for a little, and then
Meredith said it's overwhelming. Like she'll be with him and it's so good, but when she leaves, she's often shaking because it's so much information, so much fear, and it requires so much of her strength to be okay while she's in there and to try and just like function. That when she leaves, it's like all of her nerves have been zapped.
And so went back to the room, which at that point after being there, I like wanted to go back. I was like, I don't think I can take anymore right now, which makes you feel bad because you want to be with your baby.
But it's helpless.
Yeah.
It's a helpless feeling. With Jules, I had that where I like wanted to be with her and I wanted to take care of her, but I also couldn't do anything.
Yeah. So went back to the room, tried to rest. I couldn't sleep the first night at all. Every time I was exhausted, but every time I closed my eyes, my mind was just racing. The second night they gave me sleeping medicine, which...
Did you ask for it?
No, but my doctor came in the next morning and she's so sweet. She looked at me and I just started crying. So she hugged me and she talked to me and
gave you medicine. That's good. And so then you've been out of the hospital now for a few days, and you're kind of finding your rhythm of going to be with him. This is going to be probably a long road. He's healthy. He's healthy as far as like a 31-week born baby would be, but it's all very fragile. He lost weight in the beginning, and then he wasn't gaining as quickly as they would have liked, and then they gave him something to like fortify him, but then the risk was he might throw up, and that's a lot on a little body. Same with like the mask that he wears. They have to switch it to a different kind of breathing. You're the medical one, but basically they don't want him to develop sores, but then there's this other way of doing it that is very uncomfortable for him. So then he ends up crying a lot, which, how wonderful that he cried finally. That's a plus, but then actually crying takes a lot of energy out of him, so then that's a minus.
So they don't.
So it's like, so it's every day she goes, and there's good news and there's bad news, and mostly good news, but it's just a lot.
It's just a lot.
It's a lot. And it's COVID, so other family members can't go to the hospital. Thankfully, you guys can be there together. In my NICU experience, it was only one parent at a time, and ours was a bit more strict as far as how it all goes, but that's just state by state. Anyway, this is really fresh for Meredith. Is there anything that's like keeping you afloat right now? Like, what is keeping you going for somebody who might be going through this experience? What would you say to them? I know probably not a lot yet.
So I think the most helpful thing right now has been all the support from family, having Jessica and Becca come out, my moms. I've got a lot of moms. We've got a lot of moms. It's just people taking care of us, all of us, like food, making sure Loie's having enough attention, taking care of David and I and all our needs. Also, I just wanted to say the prayers and support and messages I've gotten on like Instagram from my sister sharing the situation is amazing. I think my prayers feel weak. I feel like I don't have enough strength sometimes, and so I am really thankful that so many people around the world are praying and messaging, and constantly every day so far I've gotten messages of people saying thinking about you, praying for you, sending you good thoughts and everything, and I cherish that. So I think that's the main thing right now. I'm sure in a few weeks I'll have other tips, but that's good.
So I guess for me, it would be if you're in this situation, and what I would tell her is you don't have to be stronger than you are. Like, if you feel weak, let the people who love you know how weak you feel so that they can jump in. If you act like you feel strong, they might assume you don't need the help that you really do need right now. Let people take care of you so that you can take care of your baby, because that's really important. That's all for now, huh?
Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like the video.
Subscribe to the channel.
So mellow. What?
No, nothing. I was taking them off.
Yeah. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel.
Yep.
Follow us on Instagram
at Meredith Bates, but the E in Bates is a 3. Don't forget to follow Very Good Mothers Club on Instagram, their business, and also buy things from there because it's the best products. Like,
you have all of it. She's
we have
our
our
biggest customer. We love you. Thanks for following along, and good luck to you and your family. We hope that you carry your baby 41 weeks. We hope you're so pregnant that
42 weeks.
You're like, how did I get so pregnant?
I want to not be pregnant.
That's what we hope. Okay. All right.
All right.
Bye.